Jessica sat on the couch, her daughter, Emily, snuggled beside her. "Mom, tell me your story," Emily asked, eyes sparkling with curiosity. Jessica took a deep breath, memories flooding back. "I was young, just like you," she began. "I fell in love with a man named Alexander. We were happy, or so I thought, but life had other plans. Alexander left when he found out that Jessica, was pregnant. I was devastated, alone and scared. I had you, Emily, and my world changed," Jessica continued. "I vowed to give you the best life possible, even if it meant doing it alone." Emily listened intently as her mother shared stories of struggle and triumph. "I worked hard, Emily, multiple jobs just to make ends meet," Jessica said. "There were times when I doubted myself, but seeing you smile kept me going." As Jessica spoke, Emily's eyes welled up with tears. "Mom, I'm sorry," Emily whispered. "Sorry for what, sweetie?" Jessica asked. "For everything you went through," Emily replied. Jessica hugged Emily tightly. "You are my strength, my reason for living," Jessica said. "I'm proud of the woman you're becoming," Emily smiled, feeling grateful for her mother's unwavering love. "I promise, Mom, I'll make you proud," Emily vowed. Jessica smiled back. "I know you will, Emily. You're my everything." As Emily grew into a beautiful and elegant lady, Jessica couldn't help but feel proud. Emily's academic excellence earned her admission to a prestigious university. Jessica beamed with joy, knowing her hard work had paid off. On Emily's university orientation day, Jessica took her aside. "Sweetheart, I want to share some advice," she said, her voice filled with wisdom. "Always prioritize your studies. Don't let distractions derail your dreams." Jessica's eyes locked onto Emily's. "Be cautious with relationships. Don't keep multiple boyfriends. If you date, choose someone wise and kind. One person, Emily, not many, and don't ever allow anyone to keep you as his secret, I mean sugar daddy. Don't engage yourself in any of them." Emily nodded attentively. "Mom, I understand," she promised. Jessica smiled. "I trust you, Emily. You're strong and intelligent. Focus on your goals." Emily thrived in university, balancing academics and social life. She made thoughtful choices, heeding her mother's advice. Emily settled into university life, embracing her mother's advice. She met two lovely friends, Sophia and Rachel, and their dorm mates became a close-knit group. One evening, while studying, Sophia and Rachel teased Emily. "So, Emily, do you have a boyfriend?" Emily blushed. "Not yet. I want to focus on my studies." Sophia and Rachel exchanged mischievous glances. "We'll get you one," they chimed. "A sugar daddy, not a boyfriend," Sophia winked. "Someone to spoil you rotten," Emily laughed, hesitant. "I don't know," but Sophia and Rachel persisted, convincing Emily to join them on a night out. Emily later agreed to go with them. At the club, Emily met Alexander, charming and wealthy. He showered her with attention and gifts. Emily was torn. Her mother's words echoed in her mind, but Alexander's allure was tempting. Sophia and Rachel encouraged Emily. "Come on, live a little." Emily hesitated, then surrendered to the thrill. As Emily and Alexander's relationship blossomed, Jessica's advice faded into the background. Emily ignored her mother's warnings, swept up in Alexander's lavish lifestyle. He showered her with designer clothes, jewelry, and exotic vacations. Sophia and Rachel reveled in Emily's newfound luxury, often joining them on extravagant nights out. As Emily's relationship with Alexander deepened, she pushed aside the truth. He was married. And Emily knows too well that he is her sugar daddy and nothing else. Jessica's words echoed in her mind, but Emily silenced her conscience. "Why worry about morals when I can have everything I've ever wanted?" Emily rationalized. Alexander's wealth and influence made her feel invincible. With Sophia and Rachel by her side, Emily indulged in the finer things in life. Her university studies became an afterthought. Life's too short to stress about books, Emily said, laughing. Jessica grew concerned, sensing Emily's shift. Emily, what's going on? You're changing, Jessica asked during a rare video call. Emily brushed her off. Mom, I'm fine. Just enjoying life, but beneath the glamour, Emily's guilt simmered. One day, Jessica arrived at Emily's university, eager to surprise her daughter. As she stepped into Emily's apartment, her eyes widened in astonishment. The luxurious furnishings, sparkling chandeliers, and expansive space left her speechless. Emily, this is, wow, Jessica trailed off, her gaze scanning the room. Emily beamed with pride. Thanks, Mom. I've been doing well. Jessica's curiosity got the better of her. What's behind all this? You're not. Emily's smile faltered for a moment before she shrugged. I have a boyfriend, Mom. He's really generous. Jessica's eyes narrowed. A boyfriend? And you never told me anything about him? Who is he? Emily's voice dropped to a whisper. He's married, Mom. He's my sugar daddy. Jessica's face crumpled as tears streamed down her cheeks. Oh, Emily, no. I didn't raise you to be someone's side chick. Emily's nonchalance stunned Jessica. Mom, don't worry. He takes care of me. Jessica's voice shook. That's not love, Emily. That's exploitation. You deserve better. Emily rolled her eyes. Mom, you don't understand. This is what I want. Jessica's tears turned to sobs. I wanted the best for you, not for you to waste your life on someone who doesn't truly care for you. Emily's indifference hardened Jessica's resolve. Emily, listen to me. You need to end this. You deserve a love that respects and values you, not one that reduces you to a secret. Emily's tone turned cold and arrogant. Mom, there's nothing you can say to make me leave him. Even if he asks me to marry him, I'll say yes. I'm ready to spend my life with him. Jessica's eyes widened in horror. Emily, no. You deserve better than being someone's secret, Emily scoffed. Better? You mean those broke young guys on the streets? No thanks, Mom. My sugar daddy provides for me like they never could. Jessica's face contorted in anguish. Is this the life you want? Being a side chick, a secret? Emily shrugged. It's fine, Mom. I'm happy. Jessica's tears flowed uncontrollably. Happy? This isn't happiness, Emily. This is settling. Emily's voice hardened. You don't understand. Mom. You never did, Jessica sobbed, her body shaking. I gave birth to you in your father's house, raised you as a single mother, just to give you a better life. Not this, not to be some man's plaything. Emily's expression remained unyielding. Jessica's words poured out between sobs. I want you to end this, Emily. Find a young man who loves and respects you, not one who hides you. Emily crossed her arms, unmoved. I won't leave him, Mom. He's my choice. Jessica's tears slowed, replaced by determination. Emily, I'll do everything to help you see sense. You deserve better. Emily continued to bask in the luxuries provided by her sugar daddy, Alexander. Despite her mother's pleas, she turned a deaf ear. With Alexander's credit card at her disposal, Emily indulged in designer shopping sprees, fine dining, and lavish getaways. Together, they checked into upscale hotels, their trysts hidden from prying eyes. Emily's social media feeds flaunted her opulent lifestyle, while carefully concealing Alexander's identity. Jessica's warnings fell on deaf ears. Emily was resolute in her choices. As the months passed, Emily's dependence on Alexander deepened. She couldn't take her studies serious anymore, relinquishing her dreams. Alexander, pleased with Emily's submission, showered her with more gifts and attention. Their whirlwind romance swept Emily off her feet, leaving her mother's concerns in the dust. One evening, as they sipped champagne in a penthouse suite, Alexander whispered sweet nothings in Emily's ear. "You're mine, Emily. Forever." Jessica sat alone in her room, tears streaming down her face. "God, why is this happening?" she sobbed. "I sacrificed everything for Emily's happiness. Why would you allow this?" She thought of her unmarried past, her dreams of a happy family. "Why would my daughter repay me with this evil?" Jessica cried. "A sugar daddy, someone's husband. God, where did I go wrong?" As she wept, Jessica's anguish turned to determination. "One day, I'll pay Emily a surprise visit," she vowed. "I need to see this sugar daddy for myself, and I will tell him to leave my daughter alone." Jessica's heart ached, but she knew she had to act. "I'll confront Emily, make her see sense," Jessica resolved. "My daughter deserves better." 1 month later, Jessica arrived at Emily's university, unexpected. She took a taxi to Emily's apartment, her heart racing. As she stepped out, Jessica's anxiety grew. What would she find? She approached Emily's door, took a deep breath, and knocked. No answer. Jessica's instincts told her to check the door. It swung open. Jessica's eyes widened as she entered. Emily and a man who was old enough to be her father sat on the couch, kissing. Their lips locked, hands roaming. Jessica's world crumbled. "Emily!" Jessica exclaimed, shock and anguish mingling. Emily and Alexander sprang apart, startled. "Mom! What are you doing here?" Emily stammered. Jessica's tears flowed. "I came to see if my worst fears were true." Alexander stood, attempting to compose himself. "Madam, please understand." Jessica's gaze burned. "You're married. And you're using my daughter." Emily stepped forward, defiance flashing. "Mom, stop." "This is my choice." Jessica's voice cracked. "Your choice? You're worth more than secrets and lies." Jessica stormed towards Alexander, her hand raised to slap him. But as she gazed into his face, her anger froze. Alexander's eyes mirrored her shock. "Jessica?" Alexander whispered, incredulous. "Alexander?" Jessica echoed, stunned. Emily's eyes darted between them. "Do you two know each other?" Jessica's voice trembled. "We do, from the past." Alexander's face paled. "Jessica, my first love, the one I lost." Jessica's eyes welled up with tears. "Alexander, the one who broke my heart." Emily's confusion deepened. "What's going on here?" Jessica's gaze locked onto Alexander's. "You're the father of my child." Alexander's eyes widened in disbelief. "Emily, is my daughter?" The room fell silent. Emily's voice shook, tears streaming down her face. "Do you know each other? Are you my parents?" Jessica and Alexander exchanged guilty glances. Emily pressed on, desperate for answers. "Tell me. Did you two have a relationship? Am I your child?" Jessica's eyes filled with regret, while Alexander's face contorted in shock. The silence hung heavy, punctuated only by Emily's sobs. Alexander finally spoke, his voice trembling. "Emily, I had no idea." "You're my daughter." Emily's anguish deepened. "You didn't know? You didn't care?" Alexander stepped forward, pleading. "Emily, please understand." But Emily's pain and anger boiled over. "You used me, Daddy. Your sugar baby." Alexander's face crumpled, shame and regret etched on his features. Jessica wrapped her arms around Emily, tears streaming down her own face. "I'm so sorry, baby. We were blind to the truth." As the truth sank in, Alexander's face paled. He had unknowingly engaged in a relationship with his own daughter. The weight of his actions crushed him. Without a word, Alexander turned and left, overwhelmed by shame and grief. Emily slammed her bedroom door, collapsing onto her bed in a flood of tears. Regret and anguish racked her body. "Why didn't I listen to Mom?" she sobbed. "I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have unknowingly." Emily's voice trailed off, unable to utter the unthinkable. "It's not my fault," she whispered, but the words rang hollow. "If only I had listened," Emily repeated, tormenting herself. She thought back to her mother's warnings. "Mom told me about bad friends, about being careful. I should have listened." Emily's tears intensified, self-blame consuming her. "How will I face the world?" she cried out. "This shame, it's too much." The weight of her actions crushed her. "What will people think? That I had a relationship with my own father." Emily's mind recoiled in horror. "Thinking he was my sugar daddy. Oh God." Her body shook with sobs, her heart heavy with grief. As the darkness closed in, Emily realized she needed her mother now more than ever. Jessica sat in Emily's living room, tears streaming down her face. She spoke aloud, her voice laced with regret. "If only I had been more insistent, more protective, none of this would have happened. I would have showed her father earlier before now." Jessica's thoughts swirled with what-ifs. What if I had been more vigilant about Emily's relationships? She buried her face in her hands, overcome. "What am I going to do now? How will I face this?" Jessica's mind raced with fears of gossip, judgment, and shame. "How will I face the world when this gets out?" She envisioned the whispers, the pointing fingers. My daughter, involved with her own father, the shame. The horror. Jessica's heart ached for Emily's future. How will she recover from this? Jessica knew she had to be strong for Emily. "I must support her, help her heal." With newfound determination, Jessica wiped away her tears. "I'll do everything to protect Emily, to help her through this." Just then, Emily emerged from her room, red-eyed. "Mom." Emily whispered, crumbling into Jessica's arms. Jessica enveloped her daughter, holding her close. "We'll face this together, Emily. We'll get through it." After hours of emotional support, Jessica held Emily close. "It wasn't your fault, sweetie. You didn't know." Emily nodded, tears still welling up. "I should have listened to you, Mom. I'm sorry." Jessica stroked Emily's hair. "You were deceived, just like I was years ago. We'll get through this together." As the sun began to set, Jessica knew she had to leave. "I'll go now, baby. You rest and process everything." Emily clung to her mother. "I love you, Mom. I love you too, Emily." Jessica pulled back, smiling weakly. "We'll face this together, okay?" Emily nodded, sniffling. With a final hug, Jessica headed out. As she walked away from Emily's apartment, she turned back. Emily stood in the doorway, waving goodbye. Jessica waved back, tears in their eyes. Jessica thought about Alexander, her heart heavy. "Oh God! What have I done to myself?" she cried out. Emily returned to her apartment, thoughts swirling. "How can I face the world?" she whispered. "Gossip, judgment, shame." Emily couldn't bear it. She knelt down, despair overwhelming. From a drawer, she retrieved a letter pad. "Dear Mom," Emily wrote, tears streaming. "I can't face this shame. I'm sorry, I was stupid for not listening. Please forgive me." Emily's hand trembled as she signed. With a heavy heart, Emily went to her kitchen, brought a glass of water and mixed it with a hard chemical and drank it. After few minutes of struggling with her stomach, she collapsed and died, leaving the shame and judgment behind. Emily's friends grew worried as hours passed without hearing from her. They decided to check on her, arriving at her apartment with a sense of trepidation. The knocking on the door remained unanswered, prompting them to enter. The scene that unfolded was devastating. Emily's lifeless body lay on the ground, alongside a heartfelt note. The note, addressed to her mother, Jessica, revealed Emily's inability to cope with the shame and guilt. Tears streamed down their faces as they read her poignant words. The friends were overcome with grief, sobbing uncontrollably. One of them mustered the strength to call Jessica, delivering the devastating news. Jessica's world crumbled, her anguished cry echoing through the phone. No. My baby, she wailed, rushing to Emily's apartment. Upon arrival, Jessica was met with an unbearable sight, her daughter's lifeless body. Embracing Emily, Jessica's tears flowed uncontrollably. My baby, why did you leave me? She whispered, her heart shattered into a million pieces. Days passed, and the somber funeral took place. The church filled with mourners, all paying their respects to Emily's memory. Jessica's anguish was palpable as she bid her final farewell. I sacrificed everything for you, she whispered, her voice trembling. As Emily's casket was lowered, Jessica's tears fell, her heart heavy with grief. My baby, I'll never see you smile again. The loss seemed insurmountable, leaving Jessica with a void that could never be filled. 2 weeks after Emily's burial, Jessica also died out of heart attack.